Hello, everyone. This is Eric Keefe, editor-in-chief of The Quintessential Gentleman, and today we are talking to pro surfer Julian Williams. What's going on, my brother? How are you?
Aloha, aloha. I'm doing great. Pretty much just got out of the water an hour ago. Been training every
Jeez.
day since I've touched down on the mainland in
Yeah,
California here. So
yeah.
super excited to be talking with you today.
Awesome, awesome, of course. All right, so even just getting into it, what's your workout look like? So you said for people who don't know, it's about 11 a.m. here on the West Coast.
Right.
And you've already been in the water. So what's like
Yeah.
a normal day for you?
So this morning I woke up at 4:30, brushed my teeth, took a quick little shower, and I was actually able to get a workout in at Surf Ready Fitness. So like a normal day for me is wake up nice and early before the sun comes up. I like to get everything done before noon so I can kind of breathe and have time and space to do other things. But I'll wake up and get about an hour to an hour and a half workout at the gym. From there, I'll come home and make some breakfast, either go to work if I got a scheduled surf lesson that day, or I'll go straight to the beach and I'll surf for about 2 or 3 hours. And for the most part, it's like I try to go out there and kind of just train mentally like I'm going to be in a heat. So I'll like time myself on a watch, break it down 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and kind of just mentally score myself. And then my girlfriend, Frankie, she's my filmer on the side as well. So that also helps me a lot to go back and self-coach myself. Is like when you're able to see as a surfer what you look like for what you're doing, it's a lot easier to make that correction for the next time. So yeah, a full day would be wake up early in the morning, work out, surf for a couple of hours, go to work, and then usually it's like pick up the phone and talk to my manager, Empu, and get some things dialed in. Or my side hobby I love to do is I like to edit my surf videos. So a lot of the stuff on my social media is recorded by someone else or my girlfriend Frankie, but I love to just edit videos. So I'll go and like usually take that time at the end of the day to look and review my surfing and then put together something for social media.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, content creator, all of the things. Listen, we got to do all the things in 2025.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I was like, if I can keep it all in-house, it'll be the best deal.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I want to go kind of way, way back. When was the first time you like touched a surfboard?
First time I touched a surfboard, that's a really good question. Um, I was at one of my basketball teammates at the time. He had a birthday party and his dad took us all down to the beach. We had a barbecue. That's something that we do in Hawaii. You have like a family barbecue on the beach with your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
He set up like 6 or 7 surfboards on the beach and taught us how to like wax it up and put the leash on and was like, all right, go ahead and have fun. And I mean, I didn't know anything about it, so I just ran out there. And before this, I was, yes, very versed in the ocean. I did a lot of swimming. Before surfing, I was a triathlete. I was actually ranked within the top three in Hawaii for I was like 8 to 13 years old. I was doing these triathlons for a long time. But yeah, just took it out and got tumbled, got rolled, but still kept on going back, going back, going back. And it took like, it was in my head, all of that work to get that 2 second ride. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, now I need to get a 3 second ride the next time. Um, yeah, so from that, it kind of just sparked my interest. I
You were 13 then? You said it
Just
was
about there.
13?
Yeah. 12, 13 years old was when I
Wow.
first kind of started surfing. Super late in regards to like surfers. I mean, even in California, they got them surfing at like 2 years old nowadays. It's kind of
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
So kind of late, but took that. I got kicked out of my first surf lesson because I didn't want to listen. So I went home super mad. Our house is kind of like up on stilts in Hawaii.
Okay.
So I like went underneath the house looking for a surfboard. And it was almost like, I don't know if anybody's watched the Griswolds Christmas movie where
Yep.
they're like
Yep.
driving through the snow and they're looking for their Christmas tree and they came to the spot and like you know what I mean? The lights came down. Ah, it was kind of like that
Yeah.
happened. And it just happened to my grandpa when he first moved to Hawaii in like in the 70s. He was driving from the South Shore to the North Shore and a famous shaper's wife was selling a surfboard on the side of the road. He picked it up and surfed it one time and just left it under the house. So I picked it up, what, 30 odd something years later and took it out. And that was my first, like, kind of just getting myself out there. A lot of it was
Mhm.
motivating myself because nobody else in my family surfed. So I did a
I
lot of,
was gonna say, what did your family say when you came home? Like, yeah, I want to surf.
yeah, no, my dad looked at me like, oh
I
boy.
was gonna say, but Hawaii is still, I mean, it's still ocean, it's still a
Oh,
thing,
100%.
right?
100%. Like, I mean, most of our lives in Hawaii, regardless of if you surf or not, it revolves around the ocean. Whether you take care of the ocean, you go there to get your food, it all
Mm.
revolves around the ocean. My dad was an avid free diver, so that's kind of
Oh,
what I did before surfing. So I was very familiar with the water and swimming and stuff. And then my uncles on my mother's side were bodyboarders, so they knew the waves
wow.
as well. So there was
Yeah.
kind of, you know what I mean, similarities in what I was doing. So it wasn't like, oh, what are you doing? But they also did not know how to paddle, stand up, and catch a wave. So they couldn't break anything down to me at all.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I get it. And I just love it. It's a message. Black people, please learn how to swim. Please, please, please learn
100%.
how to swim.
Yeah, that's like crazy because if you look in the history books, you go way back, we were saving people in open oceans in Africa, like before people even knew that, you know what I mean? So it's a part of our culture. We are aquatic people, regardless of, you live in Texas now. If we're black, we have some type of salt water in our veins, I believe,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
love that. So, you've moved over to California, but of course, your cultural kind of upbringing and things like that are definitely different. But I want to know kind of how did the culture, being Black Hawaiian, kind of how did it influence your approach to like surfing and like this particular space that you don't see many of us in?
No, 100%. It was before I was taken under the wing of this also African American Hawaiian surfer named Buttons Kuluhiokaleni. I
Mhm.
didn't necessarily know where I fit in that space, if that makes sense. So I was just surfing because I just
Just to do it.
like to do it, right? And it wasn't until he kind of taught me what it is not only to like love the ocean and to love the sport, but then to go and share it with others. So I took that and was like, if I can build this skill, there's something I got. There's something that I can, share and I can represent this space that I was in. In Hawaii, we have a lot of melanated, dark-skinned people, but I was the only one with curly hair. I had a huge afro at the time, so I definitely stuck out. And then it wasn't until maybe a few years later I met another brother who lived on the South Shore who's also surfing in the event this year, Kanyella Stewart. I met him and we, instantly clicked. So it was one of those things where if there was a surfer of color, we kind of stuck together, but there was really like two or three of us, to be honest, growing up.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like at the pro level, we didn't necessarily see, oh, we could get a sponsorship or we could get sent here or we can go and be on the front cover of a magazine. Because I mean, I've never seen a black dude on the front cover of a surfer magazine before, you know? So it's with that mindset, I continue to go out and want to represent. And I would love to be that first black person on the front of Surfer magazine or the first black person to win, the US Open of surfing, but also to open up these doors so that we can have more. I mean, there's no reason why there shouldn't be 30, 40 other kids out there trying for their spot to have a chance at this. So that's
How
what it
was
comes down to.
I was going to say, how was the industry to you,
Oh yeah,
as you were coming up? Was it very difficult? Were they open
very,
arms?
very difficult. I was blessed as a young kid. I was seen by a shaper who lived out here, so I was able to come out during the summers to train. But other than that, like I wasn't in that circle of, oh, Hurley or Billabong or whatever, whatever, whatever. And it wasn't because of my skill level. It wasn't because, but I fully felt that it was because I didn't look the part. I didn't have the blue eyes. I didn't have the long blonde hair, but I surfed damn near just as good as those kids and put in just as much work as it was. So it was a hard space to then like, ooh, do you want to still keep on pushing? Do you? And I continued to push just because like there's no reason. And working towards a sponsorship at a young age, even grinding to now, I've finally got a company who's willing to support me and create some really cool stuff like, these hats that I'm wearing, everyday people, shout out to them.
Yes.
Um, but this, I just focused as hard as I can and knew there was a place for me,
Yeah.
regardless of what these other people saw. And in surf contests, it'd be hard sometimes. I feel like, I mean, even when I'm coming from the heat, some people were like, wow, you did really well. You should have won that heat. And then you look back at the judges' scores and it may not reflect the same. So there's, the pros and cons and all this stuff. But Yeah, I just grinded it out, just used that as fuel, used it as fire, and just didn't let anybody. I created my bubble, and I kind of just floated through that surf scene until I'm, here now.
You here now, front and center, loving it. So we have this year's Lexus US Open of surface coming in, and it's also, they have the event called a Great Day in
Yes,
Stoke. Tell me
yes.
a little bit what we can expect from that.
So I'm actually a five-time winner of the A Great Day in the Stoke, and that is the opportunity. That is the person, Nathan Fluellen. He's the head, the person who is the brains behind the Great Day in the Stoke. And he's known for the longest time kind of this was my biggest shot in that sense to be able to surf this contest and eventually work my way up. And he and Lexus also saw, my ability and my drive, and they gave me the opportunity to be able to surf in the U.S. Open. But when the Great Day in the Stoke comes around, it's just a community event. Like we all come together. There's double dutch. There's music on the beach. Like it's a family event. It's a surf contest, yes, and it's a place for colored or minorities to show up. You don't have to be black to surf in this contest, Just
Yeah.
if you surf and you want a new community, this is where you come. You come and you find some friends, and it's really cool to come and he brings all of these really awesome organizations like the Black Surfers Collective, the Ebony Beach Club, and we're all just kind of trying to teach the community that we belong on the beach too, and you don't have to surf. If you want to learn how to surf, there's some free surf lessons as well. Like you can meet some really cool, awesome people and connect. And that's really what it's all about. I think it's just bringing the community together. And his saying is the chocolate tide is rising. And you see
Okay.
it out there. You see it out in the water. It's crazy. It'll be a whole day of just colored and minority kids surfing that you've never seen
Yeah.
before. And it's really cool, really interesting to watch.
So wait, what do I need to wear if I want? I'm coming tomorrow, Saturday. What?
Okay. Okay. The weather's been nice. If you're not getting in the water,
Okay.
the weather's been nice. I've been in some shorts and slippers and a hat pretty much, but
Okay.
the water is cold. I tell you that, and that's been like my biggest kind of learning curve since I've come back to California since being home for a little bit was my toes cramp up in the water, and it's kind of
Mhm.
hard when your toes don't work
Yeah.
to figure out how to work on your board. So that's kind of been, the little interesting part of it. But if you come with a hat, some sunglasses, definitely bring some sunscreen,
Yep.
um, and just have an open mind of what you're going to see because it's going to be interesting.
Love it.
If you've never necessarily watched surfing before,
Yeah.
it's cool to go up to the surfers and maybe ask them, what's going on, or
Yeah.
and they take that as respect as a surfer for someone to come up to you curious about what's going on, I would much rather like share it with you than somebody that just did not care at all.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love
yeah.
that. So also talking about kind of you said your just preparation and
Mm.
knowing the difference between, the temperature of the weather, but also just as much as the physical training is necessary for surfing, there's a mental piece of it too. And just want to know like how do you prepare mentally for you to go out on those waves?
It's when it's cold, it's hard. When it's cold, it's hard. But it's something that I truly do love to do.
Mhm.
So I do wake up thinking about it. I go to sleep thinking about it. I'm eating dinner thinking about it. I mean, I apologize. I'm sitting here thinking about it right now. It's really like I'm always thinking about surfing. I'm always thinking about maybe the next move or the next maneuver I can do. So when I'm going out into a heat or if I'm going out into a free surf, I generally give myself 2 to 3 tasks to try to complete. The first one, do one big turn completed. Okay, check. And then I'll go out throughout my session and kind of complete the boxes. And at the end of the session, if I did well, I'm able to come in and check the clips and then you know what I mean? So that goes back. But then there's those rough days where you can't check the boxes at all. You go out and you are falling on every wave. Maybe the waves are a little bit bigger than you're used to, or you have the wrong equipment for what's going on, so things aren't working out. It's reminding yourself and remembering just being out there is 1% better than you wouldn't be if you weren't out there. So just taking every session, every time on the sand, even just being able to sit and look at the waves is a way to mentally prepare for that next session. And I'm
Mhm.
always kind of thinking that way.
Yeah, yeah. And what advice would you give to, a young kid who is interested in following in getting into the ocean like you?
Yeah, I mean, show up with an open mind. If you've never surfed before, if you've never swam before, that's a good place to start. Start learning about the ocean, start learning about maybe the beach that you're going to be surfing at or the beach that you're going to be swimming at. And then don't be discouraged with the lack of representation. Like we make the representation. If there's none of us out there, then there isn't, So if just by you going out there, there is that space.
Yeah,
And it is hard because I deal with it in out here and in other countries that I go to, just being it's just me. But knowing that there is a space, regardless of if you become a professional surfer, you meet somebody and you pick up a camera and now you're a professional videographer, photographer. There's so many different avenues as well
yeah,
that surfing can offer you. And it's like it's one of those where it's so fruitful at the end of a day. Even though I'm super tired after a workout or after a surf session, like I can look back on my day and feel very great. So it's one of those things like you get pounded, you get rolled, like it's like cliche, never give up, but it's also you feel so much fuller at the end of the session or at the end of the day. So I would think obviously showing up with a positive mindset, maybe even showing up with a buddy, somebody that's, done some type of surfing before, just so you have some way to watch, but just showing up and having that open mind that it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 years for you to get to a certain spot.
yeah,
And that's what is the enjoyable part is that journey, like working out the kinks, falling, picking it back up, and then learning that maneuver and feeling it out. And really sincerely as a surfer, everybody can say this is that rush when you stand up and you feel it going down. And you
yeah,
don't get that from any other sport. Personally, I don't feel it anyway.
yeah.
Um, so if you're looking for something like that, a good serotonin hit, a good workout at the same time, surfing would definitely be something for you.
Good, good. And
Yeah.
I definitely want to just ask a quick question, just also about making sure like safety, and kind of the dangerousness of the water. Unfortunately, we just heard of the passing of, Malcolm Jamal Warner, who was,
Right.
in Costa Rica, and
Uh,
he drowned. And I just think people don't know, kind of also know the seriousness about the ocean and how it moves and things.
right. Mother Nature is a force. We can't control it, but we can work with her. And that's a big part of being a surfer is like taming the conditions or taming the situation that you're put into.
Mhm.
Um, but as like, safety, just knowing you're gonna have to hold your breath. I've hit the bottom of the sand a few times. That happens. But surfing at beaches where there's lifeguards, that's a check off your box because those guys are there to protect you, and then going and talking to your lifeguard before going out in the water to tell you about the rip currents or even the wave conditions because things can switch up so fast. And that's the cool part too about being a surfer is like we aren't on a court, we don't have to have lights on or or the field doesn't have to be perfectly groomed. We're going out there and dealing with whatever conditions the
Mhm.
judges say that they want to see us go out in the day. Um, yeah, so that's a cool part. And I mean, honestly, surfing is one of those things where if you're not comfortable with the water, start there.
Mhm.
Because being comfortable in the water makes you comfortable on your surfboard. And that takes that stress of, oh, what's gonna happen? Da, 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 da. It takes it out of the way.
Yeah. Great. And my last question for you is, what can we look forward to from Mr. Julian Williams?
Shoot. Well, within this next week, definitely the U.S. Open of surfing. Again, I'm very, very thankful and feel very blessed from Lexus and Nate from a Great Day in the Stoke to have this opportunity to surf against the best and to possibly be the best at the end of this event. So definitely looking forward to it'll be live. So if you're able to tune into the World Surf League, you can tune into one of my heats. I believe our shortboard will start on Tuesday this following week. And depending on what the times are, people will be able to see my heat draws. Lexus is also opening up their house on the beach. So if
Nice.
people are interested in coming down and checking out a surf contest or the US Open of surfing, I believe it is first come, first serve. So get here as soon as you can, but there's a place for people to sit and enjoy right there on the beach live and direct. And then, they can talk to the surfers and be there. It's cool. And I think that's a part of the surfing that I want people to realize is like, it's not just a sport, it's a lifestyle. I carry this with me every day. I carry this with me if I'm going out and teaching some people or if I'm going and just listening. I'm always kind of in this surfer mentality. Um, so I would just think if people could just take from this, like, regardless of where you come from, regardless of what you do, just know that things come around if you stick with it. And I feel like I'm a testament of that, just having faith and trusting in the process and just also just having a solid a village, have a solid crew of people that have surrounded me with positivity and support. And regardless of my ups and downs, I've also been supported by them in the sense of you can do this. And then and they've always seen me in this space, and I've talked about it. And 14 years in the making of me being able to surf in this US Open. It's cool. Like I would come down here and check it out. And one year they had like the parking lot all blocked off for the surfers' families. And one of the pro surfers' moms, his name was Julian, which is
Mhm.
also my name, obviously. They had a parking sign, and I went and ripped it off and took it home to my mom. And I told her this is going to be your parking spot one day. So
Love that.
full circle moment, full
I
circle
love that.
moment.
I love that. Amazing. Well, congratulations. I can't wait to hopefully see you tomorrow, but then also to hopefully allow you to get that win. Hope you
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. And like I've been out here dialing surfboards, getting dialed in with Brog surfboards, my shaper. I've got a whole quiver set up just for this event, which is awesome. And getting wax from you surf wax. And again, every day people co hooking me up with some clothes to be out here and fit it
Yeah,
in. So it's feeling real. It's one of those, like I woke up one day not necessarily thinking I would ever have this, and it came in, and I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it. So.
love
It's
that.
beautiful, and I'm blessed for all of the opportunities to speak to people like you. 'Cause, I mean, even you for your space, you're at the top level. So it's like I'm honored to be sitting here speaking with you as well. I in my career, this is one of those where I'm like, okay, I'm making it. I'm actually doing something.
Absorb it and appreciate it and know that you worked hard for it, for
Right.
sure.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so
Of
much.
course. Thank you so much and good luck.
Always. Thank you, brother.